I have another spooky story for you guys. This one was submitted by someone who lives in Hawaii, and she thinks she came in contact with something called the Night Marchers. So, according to Hawaiian legend, the Night Marchers are spirits of warriors who patrol the beaches. Thank you to Jacity for submitting your story. Now, let's get right into the story. This happened in 2020, the day the pandemic hit Oahu, when the entire state went into lockdown. We were still out, and my boyfriend wanted to head back home, so we got into my car and started driving. I live in Waimanalo and he lives in Kalihi, so we took the fastest route, which was the Pali Highway. The sun was about to set, but he didn't want to go straight home. So instead, we pulled off the highway and drove up through the gates that led to the Pali Lookout. The clouds were already darkening. The air was colder than usual, and it looked like it was going to rain. As we walked towards the lookout, I told him, I feel like we're being watched by more than one person. I don't know why I felt that way because we were completely alone up there. He just laughed and said, by who? The Night Marchers? Before grabbing my hand and leading me further along. By the time we reached the lookout, the sun was more than halfway gone and the wind was starting to pick back up. Darkness fell quickly and the gusts grew stronger. I told him, let's go, and started heading back towards my car while he followed behind me. That feeling of being watched started to grow stronger, but this time it came with the sound of voices. It sounded like a group of people speaking Hawaiian. It was loud enough to hear, but also too soft to make out the words. I picked up my pace, but my boyfriend walked as if nothing had changed. Isn't that so typical of them? When I reached my car, I realized he still had my keys. My nerves were already on edge, and as I looked around, I noticed something that terrified me. Not a single tree was moving, even though the wind was howling around us. I yelled for him to hurry, but he had his AirPods in and was staring down at his phone. The panic hit me harder than it ever had before. It was so dark that the only thing I could see was the glow of his screen lighting up his face. I screamed at him to move faster, and that's when I heard what sounded like someone running towards me from behind. I threw my hands up over my head, convinced we were about to be attacked. And then everything stopped. The wind died all at once, and the night went silent. My boyfriend finally walked up to the car, completely unaware of what just happened. What's wrong with you? He asked, still looking at me like I was overreacting. Before I could answer, we both heard it. The deep blast of a conch shell echoed through the darkness, followed by the heavy pounding of drums. We jumped into my car, but it wouldn't start. I tried again and again, but it was like the battery had just died. Neither of us knew what to say, so we just locked the doors, pushed our seats down, and lay flat on our stomachs. As I tried to calm myself, I noticed flickering light coming through the back window. It looked like fire from torches moving in the dark. Somehow, I fell asleep, and this had to be the fastest that has ever happened. The next morning, I woke up to Hawaii PD knocking on my window, asking if we were okay. He reminded us that the lockdown was mandatory, but he said he was in a good mood, so he wasn't going to write us a ticket. But before leaving, he looked at me, then looked at my car, and said, lucky. When we finally stepped out, we noticed that the entire car was covered in ash. After that night, I promised myself that I would never go back up there just before sunset again. So what do you guys think about this story? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and don't forget to like and follow for more spooky stories.